So let's begin our meditation today by bringing our awareness, our attention fully to this moment. To consciously be right here, right now. And what is it to experience being fully present? Just noticing what that is. Now bringing your attention, your awareness to your breathing. We'll breathe together for 5 counts. On each count, breathing in and out. And at the top of the in-breath, we'll hold for a moment. And then as you breathe out, breathing out with full awareness on the breath itself. So let's begin breathing in together to the count of 1. Breathing in. Holding the breath. And breathing out. And relax. Breathing in to the count of 2. Hold the breath. And breathing out. And relax. Breathing in to the count of 3. Holding the breath. And breathing out slowly. And relax. Breathing in to the count of 4. Holding the breath for a moment and breathing out. Full awareness on the breath, breathing in to the count of 5. Holding for a moment and breathing out. And relax deeply now. Now bringing your awareness, your attention within. Consciously going behind and beyond your thinking mind. To the seat of awareness. It is quiet, peaceful, tranquil, calm, and perfectly still. Now abiding in stillness, experiencing from stillness the remainder of our meditation. Begin by remembering that our intention with the meditation process is to cease storing blockages. Like Singer recommends, that whatever you can do to facilitate that helps with the process of letting go. By all means, do that. Whether that be therapy, meditation, retreats. Be willing to do whatever is necessary. Today we're going to focus on meditation. He reminds us that in order to meditate, you have to let go of your traditional relationship with your mind and emotions. Bottom line is letting go of your addiction to focusing on thoughts. To focus on anything except the thoughts arising in your mind. As we do this, we find that our ability to let go during daily life is greatly enhanced. That relaxing and releasing in meditation is the same process as relaxing and releasing during daily activity. Over time, you find that you remain clearer throughout your day, aware of what is going on both inside and outside. Clarity of presence, the gift of meditation. The commitment is a simple one. To sit for a short period twice a day, preferably at the same time. It requires commitment and discipline to give this work priority over everything else. That may be for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It's the commitment, the discipline to do it on a daily basis. Notice how we manage to do many things at certain times each day, to eat our meals, go to our jobs, find time for relationships. Mickey Singer reminds us that this work on ourselves is more important than anything else that we do. It affects the quality of life more than all the other things combined. Be willing to put aside the time to sit down in a quiet place. You sit down for the same reason you sit down to play the piano, to learn. You sit down to practice the piano, and if you expect to play Beethoven when you get up, you will be disappointed. He reminds us that the same is true of meditation. The reason to meditate is to learn how to remain conscious inside while your mind creates thoughts and your heart creates emotions. That whatever is going on is fine as long as you can objectively observe it. This is called mindful meditation. Paying attention, being aware. If you notice at times that you sit down and your mind cannot or will not be quiet, it will not shut up, just know that's normal. That's actually a good thing. You now know you are not your mind by simply noticing that. You watched your mind talk for 10 or 15 minutes and you noticed that it didn't shut up. It's not something that you normally notice. You normally get all involved in the thoughts that the mind is creating. However, this time, maybe right now, you noticed them. And you noticed that they did not stop. That in and of itself is a form of witness consciousness. You witness the thoughts instead of getting lost in them. This is not a bad meditation. This is a good meditation. If you practice the piano and make a mistake, that's not a bad practice session. Every session is about learning. There is no such thing as a bad meditation. There is simply practicing being aware of what is going on in there. Have no expectations. Know that expectations are a mind trip. You are sitting down because you chose to learn and to be present and to work on yourself. A dedicated time where you don't have to have so many external distractions, affording you the opportunity to practice being present as you are doing right now. Mindful meditation. Letting go of expectations. You decide you're sitting down because you choose to learn, to be present in the moment. Realizing you are addicted to your mind. We all are. You are learning to be at peace with what used to drive you crazy. Noticing that you are more addicted to your mind than some people are to drugs or alcohol. Mickey Singer reminds us the reason that many people start doing drugs or alcohol is to get away from the mind's incessant chatter. We all know at times in our life how the mind can be impossible to live with. Notice how at times you are so addicted to every single word your mind says. If your mind says, I don't like it here, you'll want to leave. And you leave. If it says, I think something good will come from being here, I'll stay for a while, you stay. Noticing how absorbed in your thoughts you actually are, how you follow whatever the mind says. Your mind is your guru, and you need to back off away from that relationship. Changing this relationship is a major part of the spiritual journey. You do not do this by fighting with the mind, attempting to resist thoughts. You did do this by learning not to listen to the mind. You are consciousness. The mind is the object of consciousness. Be willing to withdraw your attention from the mind, even when the mind is talking. One way we can do this is to bring attention to something else. Mickey gives the example of the breath. Pay attention to your breath. Just watch, notice your breathing. When you do that, you're watching your breath going in and out. You are not focusing on the mind. Let's try to do that right now. As we did in the beginning, once again, let's breathe together for 5 counts. Full awareness on the breath. Let's begin breathing in together to the count of 1. Consciously hold the breath. And full attention on the breath as you breathe out. Breathing into the count of 2. Consciously holding the breath for a moment. And breathe out. Full awareness on the breath, breathing into the count of 3. Hold for a moment and breathe out. Again, bringing attention to your breathing, breathe into the count of 4. Hold for a moment. Breathe out with full attention on the out breath. Breathe into the count of 5. Hold for a moment and breathe out. That simple process, watching the breath, you notice that you're not paying attention to your mind. The mind may try and come back in, and that lets you see how addicted you are to the mind. One moment you're sitting watching your breath and not being distracted by the mind. The next thing you know, pulled away, lost in thought. That is exactly what's going to happen. We begin with 5 short breath counts. As you go longer, you notice how strong the addiction is to the mind. Notice how your consciousness gets distracted by what your mind is saying. You stopped watching your breath and you started watching your mind. The moment you realize that's happening, go gentle on yourself. That is normal. Just start watching the breath all over again. The entire purpose is to practice gaining control of your attention so that it becomes your attention again. What you pay attention to determines your experiences in life. You have the right to decide what you pay attention to. Until we learn to pay attention, to back away from the mind, we have no choice. We're simply paying attention to whatever the mind is saying. Mickey Singer recommends, as we did, counting each breath. And as you do it for a longer period of time, continue the counting. Counting around as we did inhale, exhale, then 2, and so on. He recommends not going beyond 25. And that way you see sooner that you drifted away from the breath. Pay attention to your breath going in and out of your abdomen. Simply sit there and watch your breath while you count to 25. Then go back to 1 and begin again. If you find yourself going beyond 25, simply go back to 1. You just start over at 1. Just immediately begin counting again. This commitment requires you to be present. You must be conscious enough while watching your breath to know to go back to 1 after you reach 25. It doesn't require thought, it requires awareness. Other people may use beads mala beads, rosary beads during meditation. You can also use a mantra. There are ways to keep your consciousness on something other than your wandering thoughts. To do this is simple. As long as you understand it's not about having spiritual experiences. Do not worry about that. Simply practice being present. As you commit to doing this on a regular basis, you are going to find you are consciously aware during the day when your samskaras get hit. It's a question of your level of commitment. Every time you notice you're getting disturbed, are you willing to relax and release? Or do you still need to go through another round of expressing and then defending those blockages? So meditation by being present in the moment. Begin simply counting breath, using beads, using a mantra, using sound healing. Let the focus of the sound be your awareness. You may notice how many times you have got lost with music, just flowing with the sound, the vibration, the energy, the frequency. Freedom from the thinking mind brings clarity to our daily lives. Awareness of what's actually happening. The ability to see samskaras as they arise. The ability to relax and release. One of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is this practice. One of the greatest gifts we can give to our families is this practice. One of the greatest gifts we can give to humanity as a whole is this practice. Our own commitment to spiritual practice. You have a right to a peaceful, tranquil, serene life. Be willing to do the work. Now let's take a minute or so just to regroup this meditation in silence.